Hi there, welcome back to another episode, and today I cannot believe the weather. It's absolutely glorious. I say it's glorious, there's a little bit of mist just to burn off to start with, but once that goes away I think we're in for a cracking day. Hopefully today I'm going to be catching some thornback rays. This particular mark over the years has produced plenty of doubles for me, so I'm really hoping for a specimen sized fish. It'd be lovely to see. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, what a glorious day. I think that mist is just starting to burn off now. The sun's coming through. It's not a breath of wind. It's really eerie, actually. Even saw a couple of kayakers go past just now. Got a new line on the reel today. And I always like to give it a bit of a wet first of all before I actually put any power in or put a bait on or anything like that. Yeah, that sun really is starting to come through now. Fantastic. Glad I bought the sunglasses, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a little flick to start with. Like I say, brand new line. Just want to make sure everything's running as it should be. Can't get over how calm it is now though. That wind's just a couple of days ago, it seems to have blown itself out, but I did notice on the weather forecast this morning that the pressure's rising. We've actually got a huge patch of high pressure sat bang over the top of us at the moment, so I can't see the wind picking up anytime soon. Let's just give it one more little flick, just to be on the safe side. There's a few people fishing here today, actually. There we go, lovely. Now I think on my first cast I'm going to go for a crab bait today. You can often pick up a codling here quite early on in the tide, you know, long before we actually get down the bottom. But I don't think it'll be too long before the tide actually drops away and we'll be down onto that sand. Well, I hope it's sand today, it can sometimes be mud. Come on, there she comes. Yeah, you can literally hear a pin drop. Great stuff. Well, I think to start with, I'm actually going to just use a standard pulley rig with no weak link system. You don't tend to lose much tackle here, so I think we'll get away with it. We'll soon find out. I always like to give my rigs a bit of a stretch when I take them out of the packet. They can often be quite coiled up, so by doing this, there we go, just makes them sit a bit nicer on the seabed, I reckon. Okay, so a bit of frozen crab, frozen being the word actually. I should have taken these out a bit earlier this morning. No puddles of water when you want them, is there? There we go. Just give them a bit of a slosh around in there just to get the worst of it out. I think with the crabs being this hard, yeah, it's a real pain. I think actually, that's not too bad. I'll just give it a good bit of a squeeze, just so it makes it easier to go on the hook. Nick it in one end, whip it on. I might actually put a little bit of squid on with this as well, just for good measure. It's not a bad looking bait actually, considering it was still pretty frozen. That's lovely. Right, I'll get a little bit of squid. Squid which is also frozen and should also have come out of the freezer earlier on this morning. Never mind. I think sometimes in our eagerness to get out here we cut corners a bit, and I think I did with this today, but never mind, it's gonna work absolutely fine. It's a nice sliver of squid. Let's pop that back in there. I'm just going to run that up alongside the crab. I'm sure the guys who are walking up towards me are going to think I'm talking to myself, but we can live with that. There we go. So a nice bit of squid just wrapped around there. And we are losing the water. I mean, even since I've been here, it's only dropped. I don't know if these chaps are actually fishing. They just look like walkers. Perfect little crab and squid wrap. You don't need a big bait, you know, that's absolutely perfect. Be able to cast out a nice distance. Hopefully a cod's going to find it too. Well, there we go. Pristine crab and squid bait, clipped down, ready to cast. That's the reel I'm using today. Good old Daiwa Saltiga, 20-pound Varivas Yellow Sport mainline and an 80-pound leader. Let's get it out there. Lovely, I reckon that just about hit the tide line there. Yeah, perfect. Nice bit of tide running actually. Wasn't expecting that. Although it is quite a big tide today. Wouldn't be at all surprised as well actually if there was a bit of debris in the water. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. So important with cod fishing to have that little trickle of tide there, because without it you don't tend to get the fish moving through. I've got a slightly heavier rig for my next one. The intention being that this is going to be for the rays. It's going to have a fish bait on it, slightly stepped up hooks. I do find that with a standard gauge wire hook, if you do hook into a big ray and it tries to shuffle into the bottom like they do, you can apply too much pressure and end up opening the hooks out. So I've got some heavier duty hooks here, which should solve that problem. This is a brand new hook from Varivas. Well, I say it's brand new. It's a Varivas Chinu hook, but it's in a new size, a 5.0, and it just so happens it sits beautifully. So I'm just checking for a bite. It sits beautifully with the 5.0 Big Mouth Extra. We'll get some fish baits whipped on the side of these, and we'll see what we can find. Well, that bait's been out there now for a good 20 minutes or so, and I'd usually think about winding it in, but I'm just going to wait for the tide to drop a bit more so I can wade out across the sand and get a little bit more distance, just hit the edge of that tide run again. What an absolutely amazing bit of weather. God, it couldn't be more different to just a couple of days ago here. Shows how rapidly the weather changes. This could even be the first sign of spring coming into the air. Well, I think it's time for a bait change. That tide has dropped a lot since I've been here, but it is a very big tide today, so it is going to run out pretty quickly. As predicted, not a lot on there. Now what I have got to try and do is avoid the various bits of metalwork that are sticking out of the water out there. Stakes and all kinds of things from the old Ministry of Defence base from the Second World War. All kinds of bits and pieces out there. Oh, that's bumping around a bit. There we go, it's up on the top now. Probably should wait a little bit, I think, just for that tide to drop a bit more before I think about casting out, but don't know. Oh, loads of weed on the lead or not. Ugh. That's the thing with these big tides, you do pick up a lot of debris on your main line. I'll just ping that off of there. Bit more. Okay. Yeah, the bait is as it went out, so let's get another one on there, or shall we wait for a minute? Let's test the water. Now what I mean by test the water is literally see how deep it is now. See if I'm going to get away with wading out there and putting out this next bait. Got a lovely lump of squid and bluey to go out there next. So let's go and have a little look. Nice sensible distance, not a million miles, but I'm more than happy with that. Let's just move that tripod down, I think. Get ready for moving down onto here for the rest of the session anyway. We'll use the cups on the tripod now as well. Oh, we love a bit of mud here in the channel. Beautiful. Yeah, it's certainly not the kind of place you want to be bringing your rucksack. I had a bite then as well. Yeah, you bring your rucksack down onto this stuff and it's going to get absolutely plastered. Right, what's going on here then? There she goes. Quite a gentle bite really, considering the conditions. I would have said a bigger fish would probably really get hold of the bait today. Oh, she's gone slack. She's going to go a bit more slack. Oh, she's pulling over. What's going on? Should we have a look at it? Yeah, I think we should. Oh, I've been a bit naughty and I haven't got another rig baited up as yet, but let's just have a look at this a minute. No, there's nothing there. It's such a shame when that happens. You're always left wondering whether, you know, you don't want to break the lead out and just leave it trundling off down in the tide. But at the same time, you wonder how far you've moved it from the fish, and you know, is there a chance of that fish coming back and finding it? Let's give it the benefit of the doubt. Pop it back down a second and see what happens. Wow, it really is starting to get warm now. Right, let's see what state the bait's in. No, there's definitely no fish on there anyway. I think beyond this this little strip of ironwork that we've got just in front of us here, it's actually pretty clean out there, so I wouldn't expect to lose any tackle anyway. Come on, where are you? Here you come. Yeah, that bait certainly had a little bit of an interest. Let's get the next one on there. Something quite nice about wading out through the water to cast. It's almost therapeutic. Oh, should be bang in the tide run there. What have we got? Yeah, that's perfect. Well, just had a nice positive pull down on the tip and it's gone slack, so let's not be too hasty. Do like to hold the rod sometimes and just get a feel for what's going on. Go on. She's going to go slack again. Yeah, there she goes. What have we got? We got something there. It's not doing a lot. There's a, oh, I don't know, a few little digs. I was beginning to think today was going to be a bit of a lost cause. You'd think that we'd have caught something by now, but that's okay. Better late than never, as they say. Well, I'm still not too sure what this might be, but odds would say it's a ray. It's certainly made us wait, that's for sure. There we go. Like I say, there's no rush. This is very clean ground that we're fishing over, so we can take our time a bit. Now, if this is a cod, it's a really nice cod. I don't think it is for 1 second. I think that's probably just wishful thinking, but we'll see. It's a nice bite anyway. I went slack a few times. I think I'll get down by the water's edge. Quite unusual how it's swimming up the tide as well. I can see something starting to show below the surface. Well, it's keeping low. What is it? Come on, show yourself. My guess is it's a ray that's curled its wings up. Yeah, and there she is. Yeah, it's not a bad fish. I'd say that's our double figure thornback we've been waiting for. What a lovely looking fish as well. Whoa, she's a spiky one, I know that much. Let's just give her a quick rinse so you can see the colours on her a little bit better. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful condition, female thornback ray, early in the season, on a glorious sunny day. What more could you possibly ask for? Well, what a stunning day it's been for a February day. Bright blue skies, white fluffy clouds. Really nice to get that fish as well. Put a few hours in. I had a good feeling that they'd be here today, and you know, a fish of that size was always on the cards. A little bit disappointed not to have perhaps seen another, or perhaps a couple more even. But you can't knock it. When the weather's this good, it's just lovely to be here, and a fish like that really is the icing on the cake. Thanks for watching. See you next time.